Hello. We need space for the milk melon. I'll be polite. And a good spot for that would be up in the 4mm twin wall clear polycarbonate greenhouse, which was the first structure that I built in Eden. And but unfortunately there are potatoes in there at the moment. There's a potato plant in the spot that I want to put it. Now luckily it's the biggest potato plant. I don't think we're going to get much off it in the way of potatoes. But we're going to do a bit of a spud reveal, I think, tonight. Let's crack on. Look at that. We're not going to get fat off them, are we? But what I will do is, once the melon is in there, I'm going to leave these. I think there's another 4 there, or 3 or 4. I'm going to leave them for another 3 or 4 weeks and see what happens. But I'll have to get some water in the ground because, as you can see, it's as dry as a bone. I'm surprised I got anything at all of them, to be honest. But yeah, there are little spuds, and there are quite a few little spuds on them. Probably about 12 or 13 on that one. They just didn't get a chance to mature as they should. But it's got to come out anyway, so I just thought I'd pull that out. And as I say, I will water this up for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Get us into June. And yeah, see what we've got. Might get something decent out of that bed. But yeah, Titty melon's got to go in there. Or rather, sorry, the milk melon has got to go into there. 7-Up pop bottle. Sliding down my leg. 5mm wood screw bit. Or drill bit. 1 Black & Decker cordless drill driver. And a decent pair of scissors. You might be able to see that line around the base there. Natural line. You want to cut along that and take the label off. So we've cut the base off with the scissors along the natural line that it's got, and drilled some holes in. Leave the cap on. Drill a hole in the bottom, in the top of the cap, and then around the neck as well. We've got 4 holes, as you can see there, 5mm, and then where the straight meets the bend, the curve, got 4 holes there. Done them intermittent, you see. 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around, it. So yeah, that gets planted in with the milk melon as a water upper. And we've got 2. So the milk melon is in there now. I've already put one of the watering units at that side, and I'm going to put another one in, and it's dead easy. There's the plant that's been placed into the ground. I'm just going to give it a gentle watering in first. It's gone in and it's about a ½ inch below the level of the soil on the outside, and you just back it up like that around it. I'll give it a little gentle watering in now. Oh, bloody hell. The triumphs and the tragedies, boys and girls. I've already pre-dampened this soil because it was very dry. So the whole bed with the potatoes in has had 20 litres of water put into it. So that's all I'm going to do. That's the only time really now I'm going to water around that base, because the watering units, the pop bottles, the 2-litre pop bottles, will be doing the job for us. So we just make a little hole like this, about a hand's depth. Get our waterer, put our hand inside, push him down into the soil like that, and just press it around it. Press the soil around it. And that's it. That's it. The only other thing I do is, where have they gone now? Here they are. I put these in. Now these are pots, and they fit perfectly into the 3.5-inch pots. Fit perfectly into the pot bottles. And I water up now they're in there. So I fill it up to the top. Because it's got essentially 12 5mm holes in it, that water will shoot down into the soil quite rapidly. So it should dissipate the water that I fill these up with quite quickly. So I'll just show you that now. I might have to go and get some more water actually, because that was one of the cans that I filled the bed with. So just bear with us a second. Back again. So all we do there, I mean, this saves the splashback from the soil. The soil could potentially have pathogens in it that will splash up onto the plant and cause issues for the plant. We don't really want that. Where that leaf's touching the back as well, I'm going to trim that out so that we get the foliage growing away from the sides and the sides and the walls and that kind of thing, and try and avoid the touching as best as we can. So I'll fill this back one up first. All you do, you pour it all in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You do it the same every time, then you're laughing. But you'll notice that that water more or less disappears instantly. That water is now moisturising the bed. It's all coming out, moisturising the bed down below the surface where you want it. What I do with stuff like this, and what many people do, I mean, I've not invented this method by the way, is water from the base, so water down below, feed from the top. So that will get a bit of a feed around there in a couple of weeks' time. Probably a grow more or something like that. Or maybe a comfrey. I think Joe's going to give us some of the comfrey feed because we haven't got any at the moment. I'm going to be starting nettle feed off because there's plenty of stinging nettles, and we're going to be using that as a feed for the tomatoes, for all a lot really, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, things like the milk melon as well, and the peppers and all of that kind of thing. That kind of thing. Well, that's what you do. And all you need to do now is, not that I'd ever forget the titty melon, right? But I'll just stick that in so I know who give it me. Rocky's titty melon. And in it goes. Right, we'll crack on now with the tomatoes, the thinning out of the tomato plants, and the tying onto the canes. See you in a bit. I'm not sure I showed you, but I put a couple of handfuls of 6X concentrated farmyard manure within about a ½ metre around where that plant's just been placed, and also bone meal, the bone meal and bloodfish and bone mix, the 50-50 mix. There's a good 1.5 cups full of that gone into the same area, so that's about a foot's worth of depth, plus it's about 1.5 foot square-ish around where that plant's going to go, where it's actually gone now, and that'll feed it. That'll feed it as the melons come on. Fingers crossed on it. It'll be going that for about another 2 months, I would think. And so we'll see what we get at the end of that, because it did need a feed because the potatoes have been in it and they're relatively greedy potatoes. And there wasn't anything put in there after the tomatoes were took out. Last year we had the tomatoes in there, followed by the potatoes. I didn't put any more fertiliser in there, so it's going to be pretty exhausted, that growing medium. So I've just invigorated it a little bit around there. Okay, just thought I'd tell you that. Tomatoes, you say tomato and I say tomato. Welcome to the tomato forest, boys and girls, as you can see down there. Now those were planted in there 2 weeks ago when they were about that big. about 8 to 10 inches, and they've shown much rampance. They're also tending to now slightly move away from where the canes are. They're not growing as straight as they were before. So that's got to be remedied. So we're going to tie those on to the canes. And we're going to also thin out some of this foliage, take off some of the side shoots, etc. So I'll crack on with that. I'm just going to have to charge you up for a little bit now, though, because it's on a low battery power. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. All right. Hello. Now, while I was waiting for you to charge up, I've done the other 5. We're thinning out the foliage and we're taking out the offshoots that grow in the crux of the elbow. Now, on one of the videos the other night, I was showing you how to create new baby sun gold plants from those offshoots, because essentially they're a new plant that's growing in the crux of the elbow. But I'll just show you now. I'm just sat down like Lord Buddha at the moment on the floor, cross-legged. All right. So we've got to thin these out so that the foliage doesn't get too rampant and cause us problems, because you get problems with blight and all sorts of sort of mouldy, manky issues if you don't thin these out. And they're closely planted like these are. These are a little bit closely planted, really, for their own good. But all you do, these are disinfected scissors, nice, decent, sharp scissors. Be careful you don't damage the main stem, but chop those off around the base. Now that would be an ideal candidate for producing a new plant. We've got a couple on there that I started the other night. Put some organic rooting compound around it. You'd strip this off. All the individual little hairs become roots once you put the organic rooting compound around it. Put it into another pot. I'll put the link below, actually, for that one. And you'll get another sun gold plant out of it. I might do that with that one, actually. I'll put that to one side, because that'd make a decent new plant, that. But actually, essentially, because we've got loads of them now, and we've not got anywhere to put them, I'm probably going to be left with about 2 or 3 that I can't find a home for. So I'm going to give them, once they're established and the roots are formed, to one of the other plot holders, which is always a nice thing to do, isn't it? I mean, there's a few on there you could probably do that with. There's a decent one. Anyway, I digress. So we've got to take all of those out as well. And I'm looking on it. These little tiny ones that are growing here, we can just nip them out. Don't need to get the scissors in. It's probably safer to nip those out. But then, I'm using zip ties. These are going to be loosely fitted around the stem of the plant to encourage it to go in the right direction. There's another one there, look. That's a good one. I'm not going to take the leaf off that, but I am going to take that out. So yeah, just below where the flowers are coming there on the truss. Be careful with this. We want these going up nice and straight and true towards the sky. So you've got to encourage them and train them to go up nice and straight and true towards the sky. And if you look there, I'm leaving quite a gap, because as the stem fattens, as the plant gets bigger, we don't want to strangle it with that, do we? We don't want to do that, and we're not going to do that. But we are going to do this, and so it'll rest on top of that branch that's coming out of there and give itself an anchorage point, a purchase point. Yeah, a couple of centimetres gap around it. As that plant grows, these will slide up the cane because of that looseness that they've got. And it'll just continue on upwards, onwards and upwards. Now you've really got to keep your eye on tomato plants for these spurs that are coming off, because they take energy away from the plant. And we don't want these ones to be too bushy. You can leave one or two on if you like, and as I say, you'll create new plants with them. But we've got enough, so we just pinch them out as they come. When these vines come off, then we've got a few coming on here from the main stem. Those are the ones that we're going to be harvesting. And off these plants, if they continue on up for the 6 or 7 feet that we've got there, we should get, I mean, last year we got, what, 70 or 80 tomatoes or something like that off each plant. So I'm hoping for the same sort of results this year. And the tomato will carry on growing until it dies, basically. And so in the sort of 5 months that you've got a tomato plant, 5 or 6 months over here in the UK, they could potentially grow to sort of like 10 or 12 feet high, but we don't have the room for it. So we're just going to look after them and try and get the best quality tomatoes that we can do with the limited sort of space that we've got. We'll have enough. There'll be enough there, won't there? We'll probably get 70, I say, off each plant. And they are lovely. Sun gold tomatoes are gorgeous. That's why I'm favouring the sun gold. I'm going to have about 12 plants of them this year. And we're staggering them because we're going to be taking out the baby ones and creating new ones over the next sort of, I mean, these were put in 2 weeks ago and they were already, say, 5 or 6 weeks old from seed. About every 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be a couple more plants going in there. So we'll have a succession, hopefully, all the way up to sort of September, back end of September. Into October potentially, we will be getting the tomatoes off them. Now these will start to produce tomatoes probably by June, so we'll start to get the tomatoes coming on it in the next week or two. Coming into ripeness a couple of weeks, well, 10 to 14 days after that, you'll be picking the tomatoes off, maybe even sooner. But as I say, we're just going to keep on top of them. A bit of plant husbandry with them, and we'll show the progression of that through the season, and I hope you like it. All right, I'll do my close out now. See you in a bit. Oh, it's getting cold. I nearly forgot. These are due a feed now, and because we don't have the comfrey feed at the moment, we're going to be using some moobs there. Can you see? We're going to be using some of this stuff, which is the Grow Show tomato food. Now that's got seaweed in it and magnesium and stuff like that, which is good for tomato plants. Also sweet peppers and things like that. Now, for a gallon, it's like, I think that's around about 4.5 litres a gallon. You use a half capful, these are the caps. You put a half capful in with the water. Now, because the watering can's 7 litres, I'm going to put near enough a full cap's worth in, I think. You can overfeed them, but we should be alright with this. Near enough a capful into the 7 litre bucket, which is here. And then give it a swizz round with a chisel, maybe. You know, it's very necessary to use a chisel to stir it into the water, mix it into the water. That's crucial. Just all that I've got at the moment. So that goes in there. We water from the top. So because they're in buckets, we water around inside the bucket. Sorry, we don't water it. We feed from the top. The water is sent down to the bottom through our plastic pop bottles, isn't it? We feed from the top, water from the bottom. Now I've mixed that into that 7 litre watering can there, but we're going to transfer it into our little baby watering can, which is over there. Watch me not get up now. I'll not be able to get up. Look at me. Oh, you old man, you silly old man. There's that. There's this. We decant our mix into the little one. See if I can twizz you around a bit there, twizz you onto the plants. Yep. And then we can gently water around there, trying to avoid any splashing about. We gently feed rather than water, sorry, from the top. That won't get watered at the bottom now for about 2 days, because that's had a litre with the feeding. I'm going to do that for each one of those. Alright. Alright! Alright, the back! And that's me. I'll do me sort of like goodbye in a minute. Alright. Right, that's me. I'm going to get myself off now. I'm going to get some tea. It's 7 o'clock. It's not 7 o'clock, it's 7:15. I've been down here for about an hour and a half tonight. And what was I going to show you then? Oh, what was it? That's one of the sun gold offshoots or spurs that we took off the plants the other day. Planted it on there. I'll put that into the description below that episode if you want to have a look at that. Okay. Right, so I've been going to Murphinda. You've been fantastic as always. Thanks for coming down and joining in and watching us. It's great. We've got nearly 1,750 subscribers now. It's unbelievable that. All you newbies, hello. All you old biz, God bless you. And I hope you still continue to enjoy the Little Farmer's Farm and our little adventures in growing as the years progress. Okay. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Doesn't really matter. It's nice to be nice though, isn't it? As Dave says. Southpaw Davy, check him out. Southpaw Davy's urban farm, I think, or garden or something like that. Southpaw Davy. Southpaw Davy. Put it in. You'll see him. His little smiley Yorkshire face. And so yeah, I'll catch you later on. I've been good to Murphinda. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. And remember, be good to yourselves and each others, and we love you all. Keep growing with your head down. Namaste. Bye bye, boys and girls.